Hey, what's going on? Yo, what's up, Kratos? How's it going, Demarooney? What's up? What's wrong with this one? This one I'm just taking parts out of. I need the charge port in this and the LCD. So this is just a donation unit, giving its life for the life of others. How's it going, Camry Edits? Camry Edits? Camry Edits? Julian Pena sent out his device today. Her device. His or her device today. Cool. Have you stopped doing lives on TikTok? I wouldn't say I've stopped doing them. I would just say this environment over here has been more productive, I guess. I don't know. I feel like the lives over on TikTok have just not been quite as fun. Like the discourse on those just hasn't been as good recently, and it's not been attracting as many. How do I want to say it? Worthy participants. I don't know, people who are, asking good questions and actually engaging and interacting. So I've just been kind of hanging out here, but we will do lives on TikTok. It's been a nice change of pace for me. What's your question, Camry? Yeah, if you guys have questions, just shout them out. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Love seeing those numbers go up. I'm trying to hit 10,000 on YouTube by the end of the year. I know that's a lofty goal, but we're gonna try it anyway. I was on the live, but my question is if I can ship my headset from Romania. It's tough. It's tough to ship your headset in because the shipping's expensive. You can always reach out to us via email, and we can kind of try to help calculate the shipping for you. But if the shipping costs more than the repair, usually I'm gonna try and just be honest with people and let them know that that's just not economically feasible. I try to be really transparent about the economic feasibility of things. If somebody sends me a photo of something or sends a headset in and it's just beyond repair, it would cost more to replace or repair the unit than it would just be to replace it, then I try to be pretty honest about that. Camry Edit says, what do I do if my top strap of my headset broke? Like the head strap retainer or the strap? My Quest displays one of my other accounts over the other one I'm using, and the menu is like a window, and it only does this from one account too. It's really weird. Is that normal? I'm not familiar with that issue. It sounds like more of a software thing than a hardware thing. When in doubt, you can always factory reset or try to remove the accounts. Yeah, last guest. If you want to send it in, you can. I would shoot us an email or do the shipping label request form on our website. That's usually where I like to have people start, because it just kind of starts a ticket on our end that allows us to kind of track the progress of each customer. So that way we know that people aren't getting forgotten about or left behind. Like, it helps us keep track of things. What are we repairing? This one I'm just kind of pulling the charge port out of. Yeah, but that one has all the games I play and I can't get it back. That's a meta question for sure. If you need to access an account, then they're the only people that can really help. I asked over on TikTok about cleaning lenses. I was wondering if you could use any the official recommendation is not to use liquid, but I've been using this to clean lenses and it's not caused any damage yet. So I think if you got something like this, it's probably fine. Um, anything that's, electronics cleaner for, LCD displays or phones should be okay. You just don't want to do anything that's corrosive, that's going to take off the coating on the top of the lens, because then you're in trouble if you do that. Who do I show a photo? How do I show a photo of it? You can't show a photo of it here, but if you want to, email us, you can. If it's just the strap that's broken, I would just get a new strap. If it's the head strap retainer, then that's kind of a repair thing. If it's just the strap is broken, then I would just get a new strap. Those straps are not that expensive, and there's lots of nice like third-party straps on Amazon and stuff. It's not the account, but the person that put it hasn't told me how to take it off, so I haven't. Oh, I see. But I do have a question. There's this new repair shop in my area. Do you lose warranty if you open the headset? Because I was thinking maybe going to him, and he doesn't know if I will lose warranty. You will lose the warranty if you do something to the headset. Even if you just open it up, that's going to void the warranty automatically. Most of the time, I recommend our repair services to people who have broken units. So, they've spilled something in there, or there's sun damage, or there's a broken camera. Like if it's broken, that's really what we do. Because if it's broken, then the warranty's kind of void anyway. The warranty's only going to cover things that are like factory issues. So, if your headset's less than a year old and your fan goes out, for instance, or if your unit's less than a year old and it just won't turn on anymore, there's some sort of short on the board, that's a factory issue. They gave you a product that was a lemon, and the warranty should cover those things. If it's a you broke it kind of thing, like the dog got a hold of it, or you left it out in the sun, or you threw it against the wall, then that's kind of where we step in, because at that point the warranty is already void. What type of Quest is this? This is a Quest 2. Oh yeah, that's kind of shady of them to do that. I mean, to be real honest with you about the warranty thing, in my experience, and granted, I've not sent that many things in on warranty through Meta, but I've talked to a lot of people who have tried, and it really does kind of seem like Meta does their best to prevent you from sending things in on the warranty. And even when you do, I can't tell you how many people have left comments or sent me emails that say that Meta really just tries to get them to buy new units when they do. So all I gotta say is that I probably wouldn't be in business if Meta was doing a good job at repairing their units and keeping their own customers happy. That's what I gotta say about that. Your Quest 2 is 4 years old at this point and it's still in good standing. That's good. The battery door was gone. The battery door was gone. I'm not sure. My mother's friend gave me hers. Sorry, I was really surprised about the Quest 3 having the most field of view out of all the headsets. Yeah, the Quest 3 is a good little unit. I mean, it might as well be science fiction, because we couldn't have even imagined that the Quest 3 or anything like the Quest 3 would have existed like 6 or 7 years ago. It boggles my mind sometimes how good the technology has gotten in such a short amount of time. Should I get an Amazon renewed Quest 3? They stopped making the 120 gigabyte version. I would just get the 512, honestly. They brought the price down like $150, so they used to be like $500 a piece, and now you can get them for $499, I think, is the 512. So that's pretty good bang for a buck if you ask me. I mean, 2 years ago they didn't make 512 gigabyte Quest 2s, and those were $500, if I'm not mistaken, was the 256 ones. So the largest storage size Quest 2 was $500 like 2 years ago, and now they're giving away the Quest 3 for that same price with twice the storage. That's crazy. Well, I appreciate you being here, last guest. Thanks for watching. My controller broke and there's a red light on the controller and it won't track. There's a red light on the controller? Explain that to me. Is it a pro controller? Can you guys hear the music, by the way? Somebody the other day was like, you should have lo-fi music. So I found some like copyright-free lo-fi music. Yeah, the Quest Pro has the Quest Pro controllers, they have all sorts of little light configurations. There's blinking blue and green and blue-green and purple and white purple. And there's all sorts of different light configurations that kind of signal different issues. No music audible. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Parkour. It's possible that YouTube's not allowing the music to come through, I guess. But it should be audible. It's loud enough for me. Also, I bought an Index like a month ago because I mostly play PC VR and I need base stations for it anyways. Everybody's saying buy the Quest 3 instead of an Index, but to be happy, I'm happy I went with the Index. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're not disappointed with it. I think the Index is definitely sort of starting to show its age as a unit. I mean, there's a lot of things. You'll run into issues that Quest 2 and 3 users just don't have. So cable degradation, tracking issues, the base station issues. Those base stations do go bad. You know, there's, as you know, if you've set up the Valve Index, there's about 7 different cables that you need to make the whole system work, between charging cables, base station cables, and headset cables. And if any of those go out, then you start to have issues with the whole system. So if I wanted to do what you do as a VR repair guy, how would I start? I buy some broken VR stuff and just start fixing it. That's probably the best way to start. But even when my headset is working at 100%, then after a minute it's 1%. I'm not sure I caught the first part of your question, last guest. Can I keep the glasses in a smoking room? I also play in the room. I've only had the glasses for a week and I'm thinking about everything. Smoking shouldn't really impact the headset that much. Eventually it'll clog up with dust and stuff, but I've not noticed it being an issue that really wears on the unit that much. They smell bad. When I get them in, I can definitely tell which units belong to smokers, and on the inside they're all yellow. So I've done some shorts and videos on the ones that they come in and it's like, oh yeah, somebody's smoking in this headset. But no, I know a lot of people smoke in their headsets. How long does it usually take to fix a headset depending on what the problem is? Usually I can get it done in under about 30-40 minutes. I try to do about 10 or 12 repairs a day. So if it takes me more than an hour, we've got a problem. I'm taking a risk. I've ordered a Pico 4 Ultra during the Black Friday sales to replace my aging Quest 2. I play mostly Link, but I'm done with Meta's bad Link software. I do think it's getting better. But I hear where you're coming from. I was pretty happy with the Steam VR Link stuff that we used at our arcade for about a year. We had the Quest 3s just using Steam Link, and I never really had a problem with it, other than it just took a while to set up, you know, if you didn't have it set up. But it always seemed to work fairly well. I got the black screen of death and need a repair. Can you help with that? Yeah, we primarily do repairs. That's most of what we do. Black screen of death can be caused by a variety of different things, because a lot of different things cause the image not to show. Could be a proximity sensor, could be a bad tracking camera. If it's truly a black screen, you're not getting any image at all, and it's not even like, you don't even see the Meta logo when the headset starts up, then your LCD's bad. If it's more like a gray screen, like you get backlight, if you get backlight and the Meta logo shows up when you turn the headset on, then you're probably dealing with a camera or proximity sensor. The only way to really know is to troubleshoot it, swap those parts out and just see which one fixes it. And I got some insane trigger squeak. What's the reason? On the trigger mechanism, there's a little spring and a rod that kind of holds the trigger in place, and there's a little bit of grease that comes on that from the factory. Let me see if I can find one that's got a trigger on it. There's a little bit of grease that comes on that from the factory. If that grease wears off because of sweat or just age, then it'll start squeaking. I don't want to know what I look like inside after smoking so much. Yeah, I smoked for years. I finally kicked it about 7-8 years ago, but every now and then when I get a cold, I feel like I could still feel it. Peer pressure, if you don't want to repair it yourself, you can always send it in to us. We have a shipping label request form on our website, so if you wanted to send it in, you can check that out and just, you know, let us know what you're looking for, and somebody will send you a shipping label. What's the most you charge to repair a Quest 3? The speaker arm repair is probably the most expensive repair. It's about $170 repair because it requires a full dismantling of the unit, and in most cases there's multiple broken components. So most of the time when people break those things, they've broken the retainer ring that actually sits kind of on the inside that holds the speaker arm in place. Most of the time they've broken the speaker as well. Like the wire is severed, the speaker cable wire is severed, and then a lot of times the charge port's damaged too. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. Sometimes they're less damaged than that, but I would say for the most part, that is definitely the most expensive. That's the most I'll charge for a Quest 3 repair. Can I spray some contact cleaner into the trigger to fix the squeaking? I saw someone on Reddit do it. I wouldn't personally. I mean, if you were that dedicated to it, you can just take the faceplate off the controller. It's pretty easy to take off. It just requires a little like pry tool like this. Just take that off and then get a little bit of grease, like just electric grease from Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that, and you just put a little bit of grease in there. I wouldn't use anything like WD-40 because WD-40 is not really a lubricant. It's a solvent, so it'll clean things, you know, or it'll degrade things like adhesives, but it's not really a lubricant. People use it like a lubricant, but it's not really. So I would just get a bit of little grease and put it in there, and that should solve your problem. Did I get them all? I think we got them all. Have you ever played Bone Lab? I remember playing Bone Lab when it first came out, and I just never really got into it. There's other games that I felt like were more fun at the time, and just kind of stuck with those. I really liked Zero Caliber. Blade and Sorcery is kind of a favorite of mine, but I never really got into Bone Lab. I'm sure it's fun. Everybody else seems to like it. I just never put that much time into it. Yeah, so if you know how to take the faceplate off, then I would just get a little bit of grease and just wiggle that in there, and that should fix your problem. Pretty sure this is the one I just took out of here. Quest 2's left stick is drifting terribly, but I only have really been playing Beat Saber and a bit of VR chat, so I have no urge to repair when I'm replacing it anyway. Yeah. It may help the resale value of your controllers or your headset though. So, you know, if you can put a $12 joystick into a controller that's not working properly, and then, you know, somebody else comes along and wants to demo it before they buy it off of you, you know, it's one thing to consider. Most people don't like to buy things that don't work properly, unless they're like me and they buy them for parts. What is like the top game in VR right now, would you guys say? I feel like I ask this question every week and it changes. Like, what's everybody playing right now? Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Puff, basically, I'm just going to call you Kratos. But yeah, we've been really enjoying the chats in YouTube lately. Gorilla Tag, Thrill of the Fight 2. Oh yeah, I forgot there was a second one. Bone Lab and Beat Saber. Beat Saber's always a popular one for some reason. It's still hanging in there years later. It's kind of amazing. Ghosts of Tabor. Yeah, people seem to like Ghosts of Tabor. I've not had a chance to jump into that. I Am Cat. What's that about? Are you a cat in that? I'm seeing pink lines on my right Quest 3 eye. How can I get it fixed? Do you have any idea what it is? If you're getting pink lines in your Quest 3, it's because one of your LCD panels is broken. So one of your little LCD panels behind here is just cracked and needs to be replaced. Couldn't tell you off the top of my head how much we charge for that, but it should be on our website. Vertigo 2. Interesting. What's wrong with this one? This one, it has sun damage, so. I own Ghost of Tabor, and I don't play it much because I hate losing my stuff. Oh, it's good to know. What's my favorite VR game? I'm kind of a sucker for Blade and Sorcery. For some reason, that game always just, I never get tired of it. It's a good little screwdriver. I like this screwdriver a lot. I use it pretty much every day. If you guys get a chance to like the live and subscribe to our channel, it does help us out. I see there's a bunch of people in here and 99 people and only 18 likes. So if you guys get a chance to like everything and subscribe, that always helps us out. We've been really trying to boost the subscribers on YouTube lately because it just feels like a very active community, and that's what we're kind of going for. I want to create a channel where people can ask questions and know who to come to for answers. So thank you for liking. I appreciate that. So, and the more engaged everybody is, the better the community gets, and the easier it is for me to answer those questions, and you guys can answer each other's questions, and just makes for one nice big happy family. And it's 1 a.m. I shall go to sleep. Good night, Foofy. Man, if you did PC repairs when I broke my monitor, it would be a blessing. Yeah, my business partner does PC repairs, but we don't really do monitors. It's just one of those things we've never really gotten into. Oh, there's another screw over there. Is the 3 that much better than the 3S? Not in my opinion. It's better. But I've done multiple videos on this. My opinion is if the visuals really matter to you, if you're looking for a big step up in that, it's about a 22% difference as far as the math is concerned. So you're going to get 22% more resolution, and the Pancake lenses are much nicer than the Fresnel lenses, but the Fresnel lenses are more durable than the Pancake lenses. So there's trade-offs there. It's not all rainbows and sunshine. Hello, Oscar. What is the most dangerous headset you've gotten? Probably the ones that people send that have like bio waste in them. So every now and then somebody will send a headset with liquid damage, but actually what happened was an animal urinated on it. So I'd say probably once a quarter I get a headset that's got pee in it, and that's never a whole lot of fun. You always feel like you're handling toxic materials when you open up a box and you just get this like whiff of urine. It's not fun. Hey, I just bought a Quest 3S. Was that a good choice? Yeah, I love the Quest 3S. That's a great little unit. Yeah, have a good night, Oscar. I got my Quest 3 a week ago. Mixed reality is a game changer. Yeah, love those pass-through cameras on the Quest 3. People used to rave about the pass-through cameras on the Quest Pro, and I always kind of had this mentality that the Quest Pro was kind of like top of the line because, well, it's like, it says Pro in the name, so you'd be like, okay, that's the best headset that Meta can offer. But then I put one on maybe 2 weeks ago. We got one in for a repair, and I hadn't put one on in a while, and the Quest 3 pass-through cameras are way nicer than the Quest Pro pass-through cameras. Way nicer. The mixed reality capability of the Quest 3 is just, it's almost unmatched. We the people demand Quest 2, 3, 3S battery mods. Well, get your petition together and submit it to the board. Do you prefer the 128 gigabyte or 512 gigabyte for the Quest 3? I don't really, personally, storage size is not a factor for me. I don't really care about the storage size. It really depends on your needs, you know? Like, it's like, what's better, a MacBook Pro that has a terabyte of storage or 512 gigabytes of storage? Like, it's the same MacBook Pro, it just has more storage. If you're going to use the storage, then get more storage. If you're not going to use storage, then don't get more storage. So it's not a determining factor. It's not going to affect performance. I feel so bad for you. You have to repair a Quest. Oh, don't feel too bad for me. It's what I love to do. Is it possible to mod Hall effect sticks into the Quest 3 controllers? I mean, it's possible. The problem is there's not a whole lot of wiggle room, and the Hall effect sensors they take up more space than the joysticks that are in there. So as far as I'm aware, nobody has created a Hall effect joystick that is just compatible. You could probably get away with it if you were a really talented electrical engineer, but I am not a really talented electrical engineer, so it's not been something that I've attempted personally. I'm sorry that you can't read good, Lewis. I'm sure that you read well enough. Have you ever felt rude with? Have you ever felt with rude customers? Have you ever dealt with rude customers? Oh yeah, all the time. One thing that we get asked a lot, and the longer we're in business, the more it kind of like bothers me, is I probably get 2 emails a week from people who are reaching out for help. Like they need some sort of significant repair because they left it out. They left their headset out in the rain, or they, left it out in the sun, or they got charge port melts. And so they reach out to me asking for help. And when I respond back to them, like, hey, yeah, we can help out with that. It's probably about this much. And if you need a shipping label, I just need your mailing address so we can generate a shipping label for you. And they'll respond back with, well, how do I know that this isn't a scam? And I'm like, you reached out to me. Like, I'm just a guy trying to run a repair shop in Rogers, Arkansas, and help people. And now I feel like you're insulting me. Like, how do I know that this is not a scam? Like, what do you mean? You can drive to my location if you want. I'll shake your hand. I've had customers do it. I've had customers who lived in Tulsa, lived in Kansas City, within spitting distance. And okay, well, I'm just going to come down there and drop it off. Great. Bring it on by. I accidentally left my headset in the sunlight for a while and both screens seemed still fine. I'm confused. The Quest 3 is not as susceptible to the sun damage as the Quest 2. The Fresnel lenses are way worse at magnifying the sun and burning the LCDs than the pancake lenses are. They're just not as susceptible to it due to the geometry of the lenses. How much do Quest 2s usually resell for? Personally, right now, I wouldn't pay more than $100 for one in good condition. If they're damaged, I'm buying Quest 2 controllers for like $15-20 a unit if they have any sort of damage. And headsets I'm usually paying like between $25 and $35 for in bad condition or with any sort of damage. So speaker arms damaged, proximity sensors damaged, camera's bad, whatever. Like one or more components is not working properly. That's like a $35 unit. So with the controllers, maybe $75 maximum. But if it's in really good condition, then I'll pay like $100. So on a scale of MacBook to framework of difficult, is the average Quest 2 repair? I don't know. I lose perspective for these things because I've done so many of them. I'd say the Quest 2 is probably like a 6 or a 7 if you don't do any repairs at all. You know, it's going to be fairly difficult. Organization is key. The Quest 3s are much more difficult. The Quest 3s are probably closer to an 8 or a 9 in difficulty if you're not familiar with repairs. Could you explain why headsets don't work with external storage things? Yeah, the simple answer is that the operating system. Sorry if I can get this out. The operating system that's on the headsets is an Android-based system, and it basically doesn't allow for the mounting of any external storage devices because like if you plug an external storage device into your Windows computer, for example, there's drivers that Microsoft already has pre-installed that allow that unit to be compatible with the Windows and allow Windows to read it. But you know, it depends on how that. There's a lot of factors. Depends on you know, how that disk is formatted and whether or not it's compatible. And you know, maybe Microsoft doesn't have the drivers for it because it's this weird off-brand. Microsoft's gotten better over the years, and so has Apple. But the short answer is that the software, Microsoft or the Mac OS, are designed to take a look at an external hard drive and go, oh, there's another hard drive. You need me to read this, don't you? And then it mounts that hard drive for you. The Android based software that's on the Meta system, it does not do that. It doesn't go through those same functions. And because it's a closed system, Meta hasn't allowed it to be modified in any way. There's no way to get in there and tell it to mount a secondary drive. So it's kind of a complicated answer, but I hope that answers that. Are the screws multiple sizes links when repairing these devices? Yeah, so all of these different screws are different links. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different lengths and sizes of screws. I kind of bunch them together based on where they come out of, because that's just kind of how I operate. And I'm not going to get them mixed up because I've done it enough times. But yeah, there's a bunch of different screws in here. Is the MetaQuest Pro front made of glass? No, it's plastic. Looks like glass, but it's plastic. Is it possible to use a different OS with the Quest? Nobody's, as far as I'm aware of, nobody's tried it. I'm sure it is possible, but you would have to crack the firmware that's on here, and whatever operating system that you install on here obviously has to be able to work with all of the you know, the hardware, the cameras and the microphone and everything that's on here. It's a delicate balance. I'm sure that somebody who's a really good software engineer could figure it out. It's not in my wheelhouse of things to figure out. It's not something I'm personally capable of. So I just fix them. Do you think that the Quest 3 has worse tracking than the 2, or do you think people saying that got used to the Quest 2 tracking and will switch into Quest 3? The Quest 3 objectively has to have better tracking than the Quest 2. It's got more sensors. The controllers have more sensors, and the Quest 3 has better processing power. So a lot of what we perceive as the tracking the devices is the placement of those devices and the headset kind of interpreting where the controllers are based off of the data that it's getting from the controllers, and kind of feeding back to it from the LEDs. The thing about the Quest 3 is because it's got more processing power, it's going to better handle that data as it's coming in quicker and more efficiently. So I think that people who feel like the Quest 3 doesn't track as well are probably just used to the Quest 2. I mean, there's a lot of bias in decisions like that. You see that with people who buy cars all the time, you know, as they get used to the way that a certain car drives, and then, you know, they get into a different car and they're like, I don't like the way that it drives as well. And, you know, it's like, well, you're just used to the way that your car drives, I think. So I have both Quest 2 and 3. I can't tell which has better tracking, but what I do notice is those better lenses. Yeah, way better lenses, that's for sure. I keep bumping the camera. Sorry, guys. I'm just worried that my grandparents will get a demo unit of the Quest 3. I hope they don't. Well, the only place that I've ever seen demo units for sale is on eBay. I don't think retailers are allowed to sell demo units. So I'm pretty confident that that would be against some sort of law, like fraud. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Yeah, there's demo units all over eBay, but they're always like way cheaper than a normal Quest 2. But they should say demo or 4 parts. If they don't do that, then you could take that up with eBay and have that unit returned, because that would be obviously fraudulent behavior. So. So you would have to root the device, and only the ones that even have the ability are the dev kits, and there's only been one shown to the public online. Yep, I would agree with that. Yeah. Well, just make sure you don't buy one on eBay. Will you fix a Quest 1 in the future? I've fixed lots of Quest 1s. So basically the way that this channel works is that I fix the units that get sent into me. And I make videos based on what I'm receiving. So if somebody sends me a unit and it's like, oh, I've never seen this before, or, oh, this is a problem that I'm noticing in the headsets that needs to be addressed and people need to know about, because maybe I'll get like 2 or 3, broken Quest 3 speaker arms in a row. And it's like, oh, this is a real problem. People are having a problem with this. Then I try to make those videos almost like PSAs, like, hey, here's something to look out for, and here's what not to do, and here's how to fix it if you do it. If people don't send in units to me, then I don't do those repairs, So classic example is like recently I've been talking a lot about resolution and field of vision, and people keep commenting on those videos talking about the Pimax units. I've never put my hands on a Pimax unit. Nobody's ever sent one to me, either because they're crap and people return them or because I don't know, they never break, maybe? I don't know. What headset has the worst field of view that you've repaired? The Oculus Go's are really, really pretty subpar for field of view. I'm trying to think if there's one that's worse than that I've fixed personally. That's probably the bottom of the barrel, is the Oculus Go's. How do you think they will make a new Oculus like the Quest 4? I don't think we'll see a Quest 4 for a while. I don't think that that's coming down the pipe. I think that Meta's much more obsessed with its AR, MR stuff. I think as long as the platform can support the gaming and what people are using it for, and they're not losing users, I think that we'll probably be stuck with the Quest 3 for at least another year, but probably closer to 2 years. So. Is it worth it to seek repair for my old Quest 2? Yeah. The problem with it was one time water spilled over the charging port, and after a while I was never able to charge. Yeah, that's a pretty easy repair. Charge port repair is about $90. So if you send it in through our website, we pay for the shipping, and then you pay for the labor and the parts. And yeah, it's about $90 for me to repair a charge port. Yeah, kind of like the Samsung VR. Yeah, it's barely a VR experience. It's really, really subpar. Besides resolution and mixed reality, does the Quest 3 have a difference in performance versus the Quest 2 in PC VR when using the link cable? That's a good question. I've not experimented with that too much. Obviously, the resolution is what people notice the most, but if the GPU is handling most of the processing, then it stands to reason that they're probably going to have about the same frame rate, same resolution. Well, not same resolution, but same frame rate. Be able to play the same games, all that kind of stuff. What's my favorite Quest headset? I mean, I'm a big fan of the 3. That's what I use on a daily basis. What about stick drift? Stick drift's really easy to repair. You just need to replace the joystick module that kind of goes in the controller. We sell those on our website. If you guys haven't had a chance to check out our website, there's all sorts of parts and repairs and VR services and stuff. So that's available for you guys. And then If you guys aren't subscribed, haven't, you know, liked our stuff, that always helps us out. So just doing our best to bring people more information, or as much information as we can, and every little bit of support helps us out a lot. So outside of Oculus Meta headsets, what headsets have ended up at your shop? We do lots of G2 reverbs. That's a really popular commercial unit. So lots of arcades use the G2 reverbs. You know, things like physical therapy centers use the G2 reverbs. I do Vives. I do valve indexes. I don't do as many valve indexes as I used to, because I feel like they're just kind of starting to wane in popularity. Same thing with the Vives, but we do repair them. I don't ever really see the PlayStation VRs. The only thing that ever seems to go wrong on the PSVR 2s specifically is the cables. So I think maybe I've repaired 2 of those PSVR 2s, because most of the time people reach out to us and go, hey, my cable got chewed up, or hey, I'm having this issue. I think it's the cable, and I can't get those cables. Sony didn't make those cables available. So I just kind of have to tell people they have to reach out to Sony about it. I'd be happy to repair it, but I can't get the cables. So it's kind of a moot point. What's a valve index? It's a headset that was manufactured by Steam in 2019. I broke my thumbstick black part. I'm getting a new Quest 3 for Christmas. That's cool. Is this a Quest 2? It was a Quest 2. Now it's a shell of a Quest 2. So my Quest 2 charge port melted. Is that fixable? Yeah. So I kind of just pulled this charge port out of this unit. But yeah, it is fixable. You just got to put a new charge port in there. And yeah, that's the easy answer. Yes. Yes, it is. What do you do if your trigger isn't working after your brother throws it on the door and it doesn't work? You just feel the button move. Just wondering. Usually if the trigger is not working on the Quest 2 controller, so right, let me, where's my stick at? This right here is the magnetic sensor that picks up trigger movement. It detects, there's a little magnet on the back of the trigger right here. So there's a little magnet on the back of the trigger, and what happens is as the hinge is down, it makes contact with this proximity sensor here, and sends that input signal to the motherboard, to the rest of the controller, and detects that input. What happens sometimes is if people press down too hard on the triggers, or they throw them severe impact, then this little proximity sensor will get damaged, and then it won't detect input anymore because it's broken. It's repairable. You can send it in to us, and we can either swap that board out or maybe swap a new chip on there. But it's not something we do a lot, I would say. It's not the most common controller repair. What's the worst headset ever for you? That's a good question. For me personally, I never liked the first PlayStation VRs. I always thought those were just garbage units. Every time I talked to somebody about their experience in PSVR, it was always like they just got super nauseous, or the graphics weren't that good, or the games weren't that good. It was, you know, it's very common. Oh. Let's fix a headset. My friend's headset dies after 30 minutes when it's fully charged. Probably needs a new battery. Battery replacement's fairly common. We offer that on the website, so you just got to reach out to us. Oh, goodness. Where's my thing? There it is. I only found my old Right Quest Pro controller, and I'm wondering if you know anybody. You asked me that question, I think, the last time we did a live, and my best suggestion is eBay. eBay's probably the only place. Where does internal controller dust mostly come from? It comes from your hands, from the skin on your hands. How do you know when to buy a replacement part for joystick drift? When your joystick drift is bad enough to where you can't tolerate it anymore. I actually did a video on the Quest 3S joystick repair, and I kind of show you in that video how you can test your controllers at home for joystick drift. So you can go into the settings and then go to devices and go to controller and you can see how bad your stick drift is. It's the same menu where you set your dead zones, but if you want, you can check out that video and I kind of walk you through it. What's the best field of view headset on the market right now? The best resolution and best field of view is the Apple Vision Pro. Sorry, I got a cough there. I've not personally had my hands on a Vision Pro yet, so I don't know if you'd consider that a good headset or not. But their advertising is that they've got the best resolution and the best field of vision on the market. How to fix a squeaky trigger for the Quest 2. Take your faceplate off your controller and put a little bit of grease on that little spring and that rod there, and that should fix it. Quest 1 and 2 look similar, but they're very, very different in their construction and in their function. The best budget headset, I would get the 3S. 3S is hard to beat right now. Screws just being wonky. Why is my Quest 2 glitching? I have rainbow lines show up in the corner of my screen for a split second. You maybe have a failing LCD. That's usually what happens when the LCDs start going out. You start experiencing flickering, or one eye will go bad, or you'll start getting rainbow color effects in one side or the other. How easy is it to replace a Quest 2 speaker? It's one of the more complicated repair jobs on the Quest 2. I wouldn't take it lightly, but it's doable. Do you own a 3 and a 3S? Yes, I do. I've got several 3s, and I've got at least one 3S right now in the building. I've got lots of Quest 2s. I've got piles of Quest 2s. So people ask me sometimes, how many headsets do you own? And I say, every headset that's been manufactured since about 2014. How do you take the faceplate off? Stick around and I'll show you. Oh, for the controller, you mean? On a controller, it's easy. This one's got a faceplate. I take a pry tool like this, and so your battery cover needs to be off, but you just take this pry tool like this, just run it around the bottom edge, and then just pop it just a little bit, and then come back over here on the top and pop that. And then if I go back on the bottom again, then it should just come off. Easy peasy. And then if you want to put it back on, you just kind of line up the buttons like this, and then just press down real good, and then it'll just go back on. Easy. Does a butter knife work? I don't know if I'd use a butter knife. I guess you could. I would probably just invest in a pry tool. They're like $1. How does the Meta Quest 3 or Pro controller work without the ring? It still has LED tracking ribbons, but so it's different technology actually. The Quest 3 controller has an LED tracking ring that's underneath the faceplate. I don't have one sitting here right in front of me right now, so I can't show you. But the Quest Pro, it uses cameras, so it's got inside-out tracking just like your headset does. So different methods, but yeah, neither one of them needs a ring. Quest 2 or 3 giveaway. I think our next giveaway is probably going to be a Quest 3. So if you guys aren't subscribed with the notifications turned on to our YouTube channel, definitely do that, because we'll probably be announcing a Quest 3 giveaway. If we don't announce it by the end of the week, I'd be surprised. I'll put it that way. Do we sell refurbs? No, I don't sell refurbished units. It's just not my style. I really like to focus on the repairs, and there's lots of people out there who sell refurbed units. So does a flat screw work for taking the faceplate off? I would just use a pry tool. You get yourself something like this, or they make these little black sticks like this that are like, you can buy like a pack of these for like, I don't know, $5 on Amazon. But yeah, I would not use anything that's not designed for the job. What performs better, the Quest 3 or the 3S? That's an interesting question, because they both have the same processor and they have the same amount of RAM. which is both more than the Quest 2. But arguably, and this is something I want to make a video on here in the near future, because they have the same processor, which means that they have the same ability to process data, and they have the same amount of RAM, so the same amount of memory. But the Quest 3S has lower power output because it's got one single LCD panel versus the Quest 3. Or sorry, the 3S has one LCD panel versus the Quest 3 has two LCD panels with higher resolution. It stands to reason that the Quest 3S would actually get better performance out of its processor. I've not tested that yet, but it's a theory that I want to try to make a video on. Yeah, thanks, Jet. Using the wrong tools is a great way to break things. I don't recommend using the wrong tools. Yeah, no problem, Moda Monkey. When I try to walk forward on my Quest 2, sometimes the controller won't respond. Do I need to replace my joystick? Probably. You can go into your settings menu, go to devices, go to controllers, and calibrate your joystick and see if you have joystick drift. That's probably the best way to see whether or not you have severe joystick drift, because it'll be obvious. Do you think that the Quest 1 was a good headset? It was a good headset for the time. It's not a good headset now. What's the first thing I should do when I get a Quest? Go through the setup process and just enjoy yourself. Just kick back and have fun. Make a day of it. Make a night of it, you know? Get yourself some snacks. Make sure you've got a nice game lined up. If you're getting the 3 or the 3S, you got that Batman Arkham Shadow game for free. Download that, play that. That's a great game. I enjoyed the heck out of it. What was your first ever headset repair? It was a HTC Vive Pro. Was the first one that I ever did. Because we had them for we had a virtual reality arcade, and we used them for the arcade. And that's kind of how I cut my teeth, was fixing headsets in our arcade. How do I remove my Quest 2 controller faceplate? It's funny, we just went over that actually. So just in case anybody missed it, we'll do this one more time. You get a pry tool like this, and you've got your controller like this. Take your pry tool and just kind of gently go between the white part and the dark part there, and then just slide it up, and then just pry it open just a little bit, just gently, and then come back up here at the top and pry that. That should pop, and then you can just lift this faceplate away like that. Easy peasy. And then if you want to put it back on, just line the buttons back up and then press down hard. Do you have a basic video on the overall breakdown of how the Meta Quest 3 glasses function? Yeah, I do. I have a full teardown video on the Quest 3. Go check out my video. I think it's called The Things That I've Learned. I've fixed 50 Meta Quest 3s. Here's what I've learned, or something like that. Go check that video out, because it's got some pretty detailed information. You know, my first teardown video, I really didn't know what I was doing with the Quest 3, but that video I was much more prepared, just because I had done a lot of them at that point. Why are you taking the VR apart? I'm going to replace the charge port. This charge port had a little bit of melt on it, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a new charge port in there, and I'm probably going to clean that port up a little bit and get it going again. Is it possible to upgrade the storage on the Quest 3 lower storage model? Not without replacing the whole board. That's the easy answer. Yeah, no problem. If you guys haven't gotten a chance to subscribe to the channel yet, please do that. And we're also probably going to be announcing a new giveaway here soon, so make sure that your notifications are on. That helps us out, and obviously, you know, you want to be the first one to be notified when we announce our next giveaway. Do you ever make custom tools for repairs? No, I have special units that I keep laying around. Like, I've got this Quest 2 that just doesn't have the screen plugged in, because I can plug in screens, and this is, I call it my LCD testing unit. So I keep different headsets around that kind of allow me to hot swap parts just to test them real quick without having to tear down a whole unit. But I don't really make custom tools. How much is it for the charge port repair? It's about 90 bucks. So if you want to send it in to us, that's because we pay for the shipping up front, so you can send it in without having to pay anything. And then the cost of the parts and the labor and the return shipping. So all that stuff costs some money. So it's about 90 bucks when it's all said and done. I recently just sold my Quest 2 to a mother of her 12-year-old son who's new to VR. Showed her the parental controls. Yeah, that's probably a good thing to do. How do I fix my Meta Quest 3S tracking? What's wrong with the Quest 3S tracking? It's still pretty new. If you're having issues with it, you probably just take it back to the store you got it from. This headset's been putting off some heat. You can see this bluing here on the copper. Would you recommend Quest Pro controllers with the 3, 3S, or 2? No, I wouldn't. I've never been a big fan of the Quest Pro controllers, and personally I feel like they're more inclined to get damaged because of the way that they track with cameras. You knock one of those cameras loose, whole controller's bad. You got to replace that camera. You can beat the heck out of those Quest 3 controllers without much issue. And things like the joysticks, you know, that's the same component. So it's not like there's a significant improvement in any of the hardware. It's just more expensive hardware. And actually, fun fact, the Quest Pro controllers are not compatible with the Quest 3S. So if you have a Quest 3S, don't even consider buying the Quest Pro controllers, because as of today, or last time I checked, they've not updated the firmware on the Quest 3S to be compatible with the Quest Pro controllers, and I don't think that they will. Just being honest, I think they're trying to phase it out. One more thing, how do you fix stick drift for Quest 2 controllers? Because it's driving me nuts. I have whole videos on how to fix stick drift. The quick answer is you need to replace the joystick module. For the long answer, go check out one of my videos, because I've got lots of videos on how to do it. Can I just cut off the Quest 2 controller ring? No, you can't. It won't work. Looks like Monkey Kind said that. Yeah, I'm positive. The Quest 2 controller ring is where the LEDs for the tracking reside. So if you cut this off, then it can't track. You've cut off the entire manner of how it tracks itself. So I mean, you can do it. Nobody can stop you, but it's not going to work. Do you sell Quest 2 controllers? No, I don't really sell units. I mostly just do repairs. Today we're doing a charge port repair. Inky Bell. No, we don't sell Quest 2 controllers. Just repair them. Yeah, I'm very curious about this drama that's going on with Vortex right now. Vortex, what's happening? Tell the group. I do ring repairs. You can check out our website. What inspired me? I like helping people, and people kept coming into our repair shop because we did computer repair and we had a VR arcade as well, and people kept coming in and asking if we could fix their units. And I just told him I'll take a look and I'll see what I can do. And one thing kind of led to another, and now we fix VR headsets. Oh. Is it possible to mod the controllers? Not as far as I know. You can't put Hall effect joysticks in the Quest 2 controllers. There's just not enough space for them. Bro, can you fix my grandma's eyesight? Probably not. I'm not a doctor. Ooh. What's your favorite Meta Quest and why? I really like the Quest 3. I like the controllers. I like the pancake lenses. It does everything you needed to do. I mean, it's hard to beat. And for $500, you know, it's the best bang for buck VR headset I think that's ever been produced. Have I ever broken a VR headset more while fixing it? No. No, I've done this so many times. It's hard to describe how many times I've done this. Can you explain again why the Quest Pro isn't a great option? Just as a headset, the Quest Pro just lacks in a couple areas now that the Meta Quest 3 is out. And, you know, I mean, it's been out for a year, so you could say that it's been lacking for a year. But the pass-through, the full-color pass-through cameras are not as nice. The Quest Pro actually has less resolution than the Quest 3S, so it's got way less resolution than the Quest 3. It's got the pancake lenses, but if that's what you're buying, then just buy the Quest 3. Plus, it's, you know, 2 to 3 times the price of the Quest 3, depending on where you buy it from. So I just don't think it's a good option for anybody, unless you really want that eye and face tracking, and that is just the only thing that you care about. That's the only thing that the Quest Pro does that none of the other headsets do. The other thing about the Quest Pro is that it's been discontinued. So you'd be hard-pressed to get a new one unless there was an electronics store or retailer that just had some backstock of them somewhere. And I don't think Meta's going to support those units indefinitely since they've been discontinued. Usually Meta will support a unit for about a year after they discontinue it. My joystick doesn't work. It has a lot of drift. When I tried to fix it, damaged it. Why it doesn't move 7 places and now has a lot of drift. What can I do? It sounds like kind of a DIY repair gone wrong. I'd recommend just sending that in to us to take a look at. You can check out our website for repair options and things. What's the best headset under $400? The Quest 3S. I don't know that that's even debatable. I'm sure somebody will debate me, but I'm not sure that it actually is debatable. My head strap broke in half. That's unfortunate. What is the good and the bad of the new touchless controllers? I don't know that there's bad. They're definitely more durable than the Quest 2 controllers because of their design without the ring. I don't know that I really have anything bad to say about them. Maybe I'll make a list. Bad things about the Quest 3 controllers. It'll be a good 30-second short. Do electric air guns work for fixing Joy-Con drift? I don't think that any type of compressed air is going to work for joystick drift, because that's not usually what causes joystick drift. Usually joystick drift is a wear and tear thing, not a dust and debris thing. What other devices have I worked on besides VR headsets? I work on VR controllers. Do you recommend the PSVR 2 with PC link? I mean, I've not tried the PSVR 2 with a PC, so I don't know that I could really recommend it. I've heard good things, but it seems like a lot of hurdles to jump through. And Sony's not been really good about trying to support their VR players, I don't feel like. My classic tale on this is that, like, if your cable goes bad on your PSVR 2, you're just kind of cooked. Sony doesn't really seem to have a plan in place for supplying additional cables or helping people repair their cables. It's kind of like, if it's under warranty, they'll help you out, and if it's not, then get a new headset. And that just doesn't seem like a good way to run a VR product for me. So what would you get your kids if you had kids for Christmas? What would I get my kids? Like, as far as VR headsets, probably the 3S. It's a nice mixture of durability and functionality. The Quest 3 is definitely less durable than the 3S. The 3S can take a beating that the 3 just can't. So if I was going to get my kid a headset, I would probably get them the 3S. What VR headset are we fixing? This is the Quest 2, because it's got a bad charge port. Well, it had a bad charge port. What part about fixing VRs do you hate the most? I'm not sure that I really hate anything. Sometimes I think people can be a little deceptive. You know, it's kind of like when people go into the doctor's office and they don't want to be honest about what's actually going on with them, so they kind of lie a little bit. I get a lot of that, and there's really no good reason for it other than people are just kind of embarrassed or ashamed of certain things maybe that have happened with their headsets. But I wish people would just be honest with me. You know, it's like, oh, I threw it against the wall as hard as I could and now it won't turn on. Okay, great. That helps me diagnose the unit. If you tell me, oh, I don't know, just one day it just stopped working and I don't know why, well, now I've got to spend all this time trying to figure out why it's not working, only to open it up and figure out, oh, this person threw this headset into the wall as hard as they could and it's got a broken camera or whatever, you know. So I do wish people were just kind of upfront and honest. That's probably the most irritating thing that I deal with on a daily basis. But the headsets themselves, you know, they're great. Have you ever installed the transparent mod? No, but if somebody wants to send me one, I'd be glad to do it. Send me your headset with the transparent mod and I will install it in a video. Does the Quest 3S play well standalone? Oh yeah, it plays great standalone. It's got the same processor as the Quest 3. Same processor, same amount of RAM. Are silicone HMD covers worth it? I don't know. It's a good question. Yeah, I would say I feel like the silicone covers on the controllers are fine. You don't need any air ventilation in the controllers, and they do help prevent liquid damage. On the headsets, they can cause overheating. So I would probably put them on my controllers, and I probably wouldn't put them on my headset. That's what I would say about that. Can I help you? Yeah, I'd love to help you. For PCVR, do you think I should save for like a Valve Index or HTC? I wouldn't buy an Index or an HTC under really any conditions. The Valve Index is 5 years old, the technology's old, and the HTC units are just not all they're cracked up to be. You know, I would just get a Quest 3 and plug it in and call it a day. That's what I use. Where are we based? We're based in Rogers, Arkansas. Have you repaired a Quest 3? Yeah, I've repaired lots of Quest 3s. Oh, if you guys haven't gotten a chance to subscribe and stuff, that really helps us out. We're probably going to be launching another giveaway here soon. So I can't say whether or not it's a Quest 3 or a Quest 3S or something else, but we're definitely going to be doing a giveaways here soon. So if you guys want to be involved in the giveaway, definitely make sure you're subscribed and you've got the notifications turned on. Helps us out and it helps you out. So plus, if you ever need advice on VR stuff or information on how to repair something, then you know where to find us if you're subscribed. Oh, and if you guys get a chance to like this live too, that also helps me out because then other people get to see the live and get their questions asked and, you know, their problems fixed. And we're all about fixing people's problems here. That's what we do. Have you repaired a PSVR 2? I've disassembled one for a customer, but nobody's really ever sent one in for repair. It's just not that common. Most of the time, it seems like what goes wrong with those units is that the cables break or get severed. Either a dog chews it up or they just get worn out or something. And we can't replace the cables. So the units themselves just seem to be very resilient. I don't know why that is. Let's take a look. All right, we're charging up. So I gotta leave this on the charger for a little while, and then I'll come back and test it here in a little bit after it's charged up and make sure that everything tracks and everything works. But yeah, that's pretty much how you install a charge port on that. I just got to button this back up after I get done testing it, but I can't test it until it's got a charge on it. So no, I don't play Roblox. Why could my Quest 2 charge way faster than my Quest 3? Kind of depends on your charger. But it also might be that your battery is not as new in the Quest 2 as it is in the Quest 3, so it's going to charge up a little bit faster because it's not holding a charge as well. It's kind of how batteries work. It's kind of a weird degradation thing. But anyway, I don't have any more time for questions because I gotta take a break and let this charge up so that I can come back and work on something else. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and being a part of this live chat. I've really been enjoying these live chats on YouTube recently. We used to do this on TikTok all the time, and this just seems like a lot more fun of an environment to do this in. You guys are great. So if you're not subscribed, please go check that out. Consider subscribing, consider watching all of my videos, because every time you guys watch a video, it helps me out. But that's it. That's all I got for you guys tonight. Thanks, and we will see you on the next one.